Fortune 500 companies across multiple industries, including communications and high tech, public service, retail, industrial manufacturing, and utilities. Prior to joining SSA, as senior manager at Accenture in both management and technology consulting practices, Regenia led projects targeted at process standardization, supply chain transformation, and developing operating models for long-term business and IT support for developed ERP solutions. Outside of work, Regenia serves on the board of directors for Toolbank at USA and the National Advisory Board for the National Society of Black Engineers. She graduated from Auburn with a bachelor's in mechanical engineering and a master's in materials engineering with a minor in educational leadership. Regenia is also a member of Auburn University's Alumni Engineering Council and the Alumni Board of Directors. Ms. Regenia Sanders.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
War Eagle.
War Eagle.
I love saying that. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. I know that people usually get a little sleepy after they eat, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time, but I do want to just kind of share some nuggets with you this afternoon. So first of all, I want to congratulate the PLUS recipients again. I was a scholarship recipient. PLUS wasn't around when I was here at Auburn, but I was a scholarship recipient for the entire 4 years that I was here, so I know that truly helps because my parents got me a car, so that was the only expenses they had, so that worked out. So what I want to talk to you a little bit about today is choices. One of the key things that I heard when the PLUS recipients came up and gave their remarks were the relationships and the people that they've met and the people that they've been involved with while they're here. And one of the things that resonates with me growing up in small town Alabama and coming to school at Auburn is that my choices have been the sum total of the person that you see standing before you today. And we make choices all the time, good choices, bad choices, really profound choices, choices that are kind of mundane and routine, like what to wear, where to go, what kind of car to get, what friends to have. But there are some choices that you make that are extremely pivotal to where you end up. And the question that we always have is, when we make a choice, have we made the right choice? And to be quite frank, you're not going to know until you're probably far into it whether or not you made the right choice. So I'll say to you guys as students, probably the first choice that you actually make on your own, but of course have influence from your parents, is where to go to college. And to me, when I look at the choices that we make, there's some choices that sort of rise to the top as like the top choices that you'll ever make in your life that will influence the path that you go down. And where to go to college is one of those. And my choice to come to Auburn is probably one of the top, well, I know that it's one of the top 5 decisions I've ever made in my life. And I will give you my top 5 list as we talk this afternoon. But the reason that Auburn is one of the top decisions is because by my coming to Auburn, I became part of a family. And any university is going to tell you, oh, we're the best, we're the best. But there's something special about this place called Auburn University. The strength of the relationships that you make, the experiences that you have, and those relationships that transcend time. From your freshman year when you back up, not even freshman year, when you come to summer orientation. There's people who I met in my summer orientation that I could pick up the phone and call right now. And they would be with me at my beck and call, whatever I needed. I don't know that you can really find that in a lot of places. And Auburn is very special from that respect. So, when I think back on the best decisions or the most profound decisions that I've made, number 1 was deciding to attend Auburn University. Number 2 was once I got here at Auburn, joining an organization, and that organization was the National Society of Black Engineers. I'll tell you why in a second on that. The third top decision that I have is the first job that I took, which was with the management consulting firm Accenture that I was with for 15 years. And the fourth top decision was to leave that firm 2 years ago and to go and basically begin to start my own practice with a smaller boutique firm. And the fifth I'm reserving to whenever I get married, so that'll be my fifth top decision. But kind of stepping through those things, why was Auburn such a profound decision for me? It gave me my best friend, who's standing right back there, who's been my best friend since our freshman year. It gave me the network that got me my first job. It gave me access to organizations like the National Society of Black Engineers, where I went on to become the national chairperson of that organization, and that allowed me to develop as a leader. And being a college student, I was interacting with corporate representatives and being able to establish strong communication skills. Auburn also gave me access to, how to figure out what I want to be when I grow up. It provided the platform for me to meet a multitude of different types of folks and really figure out who I was for myself. Now, the choices that you make before you enter into college are highly influenced by your family and highly influenced just by where you live. And when I look at my time at Auburn and the type of exposure that I got to the people that I've met, the professors that still know me by name, which I have no idea how, that's either a good thing or a bad thing, but those individuals were highly influential in helping me to make the decisions and make the choices that I did to stay for graduate school and then to go on into the corporate arena. So that's why Auburn was like the #1 choice. Second, joining the National Society of Black Engineers. That organization was a bit of a family within the Auburn family because there were like folks like me who weren't really sure about this engineering thing. We decided to become engineers because people told us that we were good in math and science, and you make a lot of money. So that was the reason that we chose to become engineers. Little did we know what we really got ourselves into, like studying and like doing differential equations to 2 o'clock in the morning, like what is this? But during all of those struggles and all those challenges, we developed very strong relationships. We supported each other, and that's when I began to learn what it meant to really take on the shoulders people who were in my peer group so that we recognized that we were only as successful as the whole body of us were successful. So that's what that organization gave me. My first job, moving on to Accenture, the person who actually recruited me to Accenture is an Auburn alum who has become a mentor to me and has also opened doors for a lot of the other things that I'm involved in on campus, like being part of the Auburn Engineering Council. This is a person who was a leader within Accenture and then saw something in me that said, hey, it looks like you really enjoyed your Auburn experience. How would you like to give back in this way? And I did, and the rest is history. So that being part of that company propelled me in ways that I can't even begin to share with you, but just a few things. Traveling internationally, being part of corporate boardrooms, talking to people from Germany, from France, helping them to determine how to structure the direction of their company. Those types of things are what this company enabled me to be able to do. But it's really only because, and I go back to that first decision, the foundation that I got here at Auburn with my professors and them exposing me to different things just outside of the engineering world. And then being able to interact with people like Dr. Debbie Shaw, who was actually over student affairs when I was in school here at Auburn. So again, it all links back to Auburn and those relationships and those people who've been part of my life that were able to influence me. The next decision was to actually leave Accenture and to go to the smaller consulting firm. And with that, it's interesting, someone told me, know when it's time to leave the fair. And when you go to the fair, you want that one last ride on Tilt-A-Whirl, but you just had that hot dog, and you're like, should I do it, should I not? And when you do, and then something happens, you're like, man, I just shouldn't have done that last ride. Well, one of the choices that I made that was very difficult after 15 years was to leave firm where I was very successful to go try something different. And the desire to want to do something different and having the confidence in myself to actually go out and do that is because, again, of the foundation that I got here at Auburn University. It gave me courage. It gave me that spirit that's not afraid. It gave me all those things that enabled me to say, you know what, I'm going to take a leap of faith, and I'm going to go and I'm going to do this. So that was great. So I say all that to you to say that there's no true formula for really knowing if your choice is the right choice. But the one thing that I can tell you is that whatever decision you make, particularly about your future, do it and do it to the utmost. I was at church a couple of Sundays ago, and ironically, the message was to some high school students, because I do some volunteering with high school students in my church in Atlanta. And the guy who spoke said, okay, a lot of people in Atlanta are going to be upset with me, but I'm going to use Auburn University as the theme for this message that I'm going to deliver to you. And I was like, okay, I'm really going to pay attention to this, because this guy didn't even go to Auburn and he's going to talk about Auburn. And so basically, his message to these high school kids was about choices and decisions and not really being sure about what choice you should make, but in whatever choice you do it as if unto Christ, is basically was the theme that he took out of Matthew, right? So along with that, he's like, the example that I want to share with you is Auburn University. And he went on to say that this past year, one of the kids that was on the football team actually used to go to this church, and he mentioned that he ended up spending a lot of time with the Auburn team. And the one thing that resonated with him the most is that every time there was a press conference, every time an athlete was asked a question, it was all back to Auburn. Everything that they did pointed back to Auburn. All in, all family, everything that he did was not like I'm representing myself, it's because I'm representing Auburn. So what I say to you in that example is, in whatever you do, go all in and make sure that you're representing the best of yourself. And even though there's not really a formula for helping you to determine what decisions are the right decisions, one thing that I will leave you with is a question that you should ask yourself. No matter what the situation is, always ask yourself this question. What is the wise thing for me to do? I always tell the students that I mentor back in Atlanta that a smart person learns from experience, but a wise person learns from the experience of others. So I know that we always feel like we've got to experience it for ourselves, and this is my life to live. I've got to do it. Mom, Dad, you did it before. Just let me do it. Well, your parents recognize that you want to be an individual, but they also recognize that, you know what, I've been there, done that before, and I really don't want you to make the same mistakes that I did. So in making your choices, make wise choices and ask yourself the question, what is the wise thing for me to do based on my past experiences, my current circumstances, and my future hopes and dreams? What is the wise thing for me to do? It might not be, the same question might be posed to one person and to you, the same question could be posed, but you might answer it in a different way, because you're going to answer it in a way that you're going to figure out what's wise for you to do. So I challenge you in all the life decisions that you're going to have to make as you continue to matriculate with your time here at Auburn, as well as when you venture out and become a professional and become on your own. Always ask yourself that question. What is the wise thing for me to do? In light of my past experiences, my current circumstances, and my future hopes and dreams, what's the wise thing for me to do? And when you ask that question, go all in representing the best you that there is. Because you know why you can do that? Because you got the foundation right here at Auburn University. Thanks, and worry about it.